Good day everyone, I am Bianca May Galos Deose, your discussant on the topic Experiential Learning Strategy. In this video, you will learn what is the meaning of experiential learning and who is the proponent of this theory, as well the types of experiential learning and the stages of each cycle, and of course the possible methods to be used in experiential learning strategy. So let's now proceed to our discussion. What is experiential learning strategy? In the words of Lewis and Williams, experiential learning means learning from experience or learning by doing, applying knowledge to experience in order to develop new ways of thinking. So, when we were asked what is experiential learning, the simplest answer of that is it is an educational philosophy that focuses on learning by doing process. To widen your knowledge about experiential learning, the student here manages their own learning rather than being told what to do and when to do it. And the relationship between instructor and student in experiential learning is different. Remember that the emphasis of experiential learning is on the process of learning and not on the product. Again, the emphasis of experiential learning is on the process of learning and not on the product. Let's now proceed to the proponent of experiential learning theory. Do you have an idea who is the proponent of experiential learning theory? Yes, it is David A. Kolb. In the year 1984, he published the experiential learning theory model. And according to him, experiential learning is the process whereby knowledge is created through the transformation of experience. Knowledge results from the combination of grasping and transforming the experience. So simply, according to David Kolb, learning by doing is the basis of experiential learning theory because the best ways to learn things is by actually having experiences. Do I make myself clear? Okay, so now we are on the types of experiential learning. Experiential learning can be divided into two major categories. First is the field-based experience and the second one is the classroom-based learning. Let's further elaborate the two types. The first one is field-based experience. Field-based learning is the oldest and most established form of experiential learning. It includes internships, practicums, cooperative education, and service learning. Internships provide students a professional learning experience that offers meaningful practical work related to a student's field of study or career interest. Practicums are designed to provide students with practical work experience. The difference between internships and practicums is that a practicum helps students to develop understanding, while an internship helps students understand how to implement that understanding in the real world. Next is cooperative education. Cooperative education is a structured method of combining classroom-based education with practical work experience. A cooperative education, commonly known as co-op, it provides academic credit for structured job experience. And the last is service learning. Service learning provides students with opportunities to develop civic engagement skills. By working with community members, students can enhance their group, organizational, and interpersonal skills. They can also gain important experience working with diverse members of their communities. So, with these four, a field-based experience provides learning opportunities that takes place outside of the traditional classroom, providing students with direct exposure to their field of study. These experiences vary in type, level, duration, and number of academic credits awarded. The second type of experiential learning is classroom-based experience. Classroom-based experiential learning is recommended as active learning. Why is it active learning? Because the more students do, the more they learn. By engaging students in hands-on experiences and reflection, they are better able to connect theories and knowledge learned in the classroom to real-world situations. To inform you, the experiential learning theory works in 4 stages: concrete learning or concrete experience, reflective observation, abstract conceptualization, and active experimentation. The first 2 stages, which are concrete experience and reflective observation, involve grasping an experience, while the second 2, which are abstract conceptualization and active experimentation, focus on transforming an experience. So, the first stage is learning from concrete experience. Concrete learning is when a learner gets a new experience or interprets a past experience in a new way. And the second stage is learning from reflective observation. The learner reflects on their experience personally. They use the lens of their experience and understanding to reflect on what this experience means. And the third stage is learning from abstract conceptualization. Abstract conceptualization happens as the learner forms new ideas or adjusts their thinking based on the experience and their reflection about it. And the last stage is learning from active experimentation. Active experimentation is where the learner applies the new ideas to the world around them to see if there are any modifications to be made. This process can happen over a short period of time or over a long span of time. The experiential learning cycle rests on the idea that each person has a specific type of learning tendencies, and they are thus dominant in certain stages of experiential learning. For example, some learners will be more dominant in concrete learning and reflective observation, while others will be dominant in abstract conceptualization and active experimentation. So now let's proceed to the different methods that is possible to be used in experiential learning strategy. From the 2 categories of experiential learning, the following methods are focused in the second type, which is classroom-based learning, since we are teaching elementary grades. And these methods are field trips, experiments, games or play, storytelling, and role-playing. First method is by field trips. Field trip is an educational procedure by which the learners obtain first-hand information by observing places, objects, phenomena, and processes in their natural setting. Field trips are an effective platform for experiential learning activities because they let students bridge educational experiences to actual settings. Be mindful that a field trip where students are simply talked to by a guide or teacher often doesn't qualify as true experiential learning. The second method is by conducting experiments. An experiment is a procedure designed to test a hypothesis as part of the scientific method. The two key variables in any experiment are the independent and dependent variables. As a review, the independent variable is what you change, and the dependent variable is what changes because of that. You can also think of the independent variable as the cause and the dependent variable as effect. The third method is through games or play. Games or play is an activity providing entertainment. Also, it is an activity usually involving skill and knowledge. Simply, games or play incorporate active experimentation in the form of turns, actions, and activity cycles. They provide concrete experience via application of applied knowledge to game decisions. Most importantly, games or play provide opportunities for reflective observation in the outcome of activities and actions, since it is an activity that involves skill and knowledge. The next method is by storytelling. Storytelling is the interactive art of using words and actions to reveal the elements and images of a story while encouraging the listener's imagination. Storytelling has many of the benefits of experiential learning due to the level of active engagement created. The vivid images stimulated by storytelling promotes character identification, thus engaging the student as an active participant in the learning process. When learners are engaged in this way, research reveals improved understanding and ability of the learner to apply what they have learned in the work setting. And the last method is through role-playing. Role-playing is an action in which a person takes on a role and pretends or acts out being that character. It allows students to take on different personas and interact within diverse learning settings. So, role-play is a prime example of an experiential learning technique that can enhance learning in the adult student. The students here in role-playing assume roles in a real-world scenario and must apply and develop the actual skills required to handle the situation or solve the problem presented. To sum up everything, I give you a simple quote from Arno Eilner, which is really connected to the topic that's been discussed. This quote says, "Remember, your highest goal is learning, and only action does true experiential learning occur. This is what you climbed for." I hope you learned well. Thank you and God bless. Once again, I am Bianca May Galos Diose, a second-year student of Bicol University Gubat Campus, taking the course Bachelor of Elementary Education.